Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. If you got water on your property, pond, bird bath, anything, call Southeast Termite. Ask about their insecticide that does not harm aquatic animals or birds, but it does prevent mosquito larvae from developing. I've always wanted to say larvae on my show. A perfect treatment for summer. Locally owned, family owned, Southeast Termite and Pest Control can kill the skeeters in your yard. Rapid fire stuff here, guys. It looks like Tennessee will likely hand Beverly Davenport a $1.3 million buyout check. Why not? And say, okay, you don't actually have to go and work in the communications department after the president destroyed your reputation of as being a communicator. Should they just go ahead and pay her off? It wouldn't be all one big check, but it would pay her off a lot quicker than letting her sit over there and work at $400,000 a year.
Yes.
Pay her off?
Yes.
She wasn't going to sit over there for 4 years anyway, so
No.
yes.
Okay. Philip Fulmer said UT is closing in on announcing an extension for Holly Warlick. She's down to her last year in her contract. What do you expect her to get year-wise? And is Holly Warlick going to be the first controversial decision of Philip Fulmer's AD tenure?
Yes, I think she'll get a 3-year extension.
3, okay.
I think shrunken buyout, and I think it will be the first controversy of Phil Fulmer's tenure.
It will. No, I do agree it'll be a minimal buyout. I would say 2 to 3 years, probably 3 makes the most sense, but I do think you've got to minimize the buyout. But the problem is there would have been no buyout if you hadn't extended her.
3, of course, you want to keep it at 4 to keep the recruiting going, but boy, 3. If it's 3, you do need to keep that buyout small.
Yeah, which I think will then come back to your other question. Yes, my answer would be that it'll be the first time that you'll have fans, I don't know how many, but you'll have fans questioning what Philip Fulmer is doing, which will then get back to football being so important to get things back on track overall.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of buyout for 3 years, am I not mistaken? She doesn't have a huge salary compared to
$600,000.
Yeah,
I think.
compared to a lot of, so it's not as big a buyout as if some other schools.
Yeah,
what's
Tennessee
another-
another 1.8 million.
Yeah, there you go. Have a good one. All right.
That's a bargain.
Finally, I did want to mention this. After 27 years as Tennessee's top video man over there, Joe Harrington, one of the best guys in all football in terms of providing coaching film. I mean, he is a weapon. He is leaving to work for the Oakland Raiders, and John Gruden has stolen him away. Chucky still loves the Vols, though. I mentioned this because in the industry, Joe Harrington is absolutely revered. He is known nationwide. NFL teams have come after him in the past. So after 27 years, he goes to work for the Raiders, and I want to congratulate him. And now I can mention this. I always try and thank people who had any kind of role at all in the Sports Source. We've been 15 years. This will be our 16th football season, and I guess it's safe to say now since he's leaving. But year one of this show back in 2003 when we were doing it in Seymour, and our VFLs were Scott Gallion and Bubba Miller, Joe was kind enough to get me coaches' film of upcoming opponents. We were a preview show Saturdays back then, and he was kind enough to get me the coaches' film, the all 22, so you can really break it down, of upcoming opponents. Never got the UT stuff, of course, but you know, if they were playing Washington State, we'd get the tapes. Scott Gallion, Bubba Miller would be able to break it down. We were able to do some previews. It really gave us an early point to present to sponsors and say, hey, we do this, nobody else is doing it. So that was thanks to Joe Harrington doing me a solid with that kind of video. So I wish him nothing but the best, obviously. He goes on the long list of people who've helped make the Sports Source, but also just a really good guy. And that's a big loss. He's a secret weapon for Tennessee. I mean, you think, well, he might cut up coaches' films. There's a reason this guy is considered the best, and there's a reason John Gruden has come hard for him to get him to Oakland. So congratulations to Joe Harrington. He will be definitely missed, I'm sure, over at UT. When we come back, did Jeremy Pruitt take a little shot at Butch Jones' offense? Is that tempting fate? Who cares? Is it funny? We'll discuss. Come on back on the Sports Source. We'll tell you what he said.